Why don't we have a game of riddles?
And if it loses, what then? Well, if it loses precious, then we eat it. If Baggins loses, we eat it whole.
Fair enough.
Sorry, I'm just practicing watching 48 frames a second and not throwing up because of all the press reports about The Hobbit, which opens this week. Big film of the week, arguably big film of the season, new movie by Peter Jackson, of whom I'm a great fan. Peter Jackson's made loads of really good films. He has also made some stiffs. I mean, think most recently of Lovely Bones. If only Lynn Ramsey had made The Lovely Bones and not Peter Jackson. Think also of a film like Meet the Feebles. It's a nasty, mean-spirited film, completely out of place in Peter Jackson's otherwise fairly admirable canon. And of course King Kong. I think Andy Serkis is brilliant in King Kong, but did that remake really add anything to the original? Anyway, this has given me the chance to give you my top 5 Peter Jackson movies of all time. And straight in at number 5 to get the ball rolling, Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring. Now, arguably, I could have all 3 Lord of the Rings movies at number 5. There are great things about each one of them, particularly, I think, again, Andy Serkis' increasing role as Gollum. But the second one, it is, as they say in Clerks 2, an awful lot of walking somewhere and then walking somewhere and then walking somewhere else. And of course, Return of the King, wonderful film, but it could lose a couple of endings, or 3 endings, or 4 endings, or actually almost all of its endings apart from the first ending, which basically comes about 2/3 of the way through the film. So at number 5, Fellowship of the Ring. At number 4, one of the few technical flops of Peter Jackson's career, The Frighters. Now, far too few people have seen The Frighters, which is a real shame because it's a really terrific film, a fabulous central performance by Michael J. Fox. It's a film which is brimming with enthusiasm and wit, and yet somehow it passed most cinema goers by. If you haven't seen it, check it out. If you have, let me know. Do you love it as much as I do? I think it's in there at number 4. At number 3, an early classic, Bad Taste. The film which first brought Peter Jackson to the attention of the movie-going world. Famously, the film took forever to make. It was made for very, very little money. It was edited on kitchen tables, and the process lasted so long that the cast changed while they were making the movie. One cast member, in fact, during the course of production, got married, had a religious conversion, and decided that he didn't really want to be involved in Bad Taste anymore. So halfway through the film, he turns into somebody else. The first time I ever met Peter Jackson was interviewing him for the NME about Bad Taste, when he was just a strange little New Zealand guy who I met in the St George's Hotel in London. And I asked him what the secret of getting those special effects was at such a low budget. And he said, "I'll tell you the secret, mate. It's squelchy yogurt. You get the yogurt between your hands and you go..." When people hear that, they'll believe anything. At number 2, Braindead, a film which was described by one British critic as the end of civilization as we know it. A phrase, incidentally, which you'll recognise being used by another British critic in relation to The Evil Dead. The fact of the matter is that movies that are really gory are often described as the end of civilization as we know it. But underneath all the gore in Braindead, there is real charm, real nostalgia, real wit, real invention, and a really large amount of blood, particularly in the scene in which our hero attacks a room full of zombies armed only with an upturned fly mower. And at number 1, for me, there really is no question at all. For all the financial success of movies like Lord of the Rings, and I'm absolutely certain The Hobbit, for me, Peter Jackson's best film so far is, of course, Heavenly Creatures, the true story of an infamous folie à deux that ends in tragedy, brilliantly played by Melanie Lynskey and Kate Winslet, both of whom were making their feature film debut. 3 years later, Kate Winslet will be starring in Titanic, which, as I'm sure you know, went on to be the biggest selling movie of all time, until Avatar came along. For me, Heavenly Creatures perfectly encapsulates what is so brilliant about Peter Jackson at his best, the way he somehow manages to meld fiction and reality, fantasy and fact. It is an absolutely heartbreaking film, extraordinary to watch. The screen literally shimmers, the performances are majestic, and it understands that somewhere between fact and fiction is the truth. If you haven't seen it, I'm sure most of you have, check it out. As for me, I get myself back up to speed with 48 frames.